All right, y'all, about to go live for a little bit here. Um, wanted to wanted to just give a recap, my thoughts on this Invicta FC card since I was out for a little bit last week. It was just a few days ago, but I got a chance to watch it again, and yeah, I just wanted to go back through and talk about Invicta FC 49 here a little bit. Then I'm gonna jump off here maybe for like 15, 20 minutes, just kind of go through the fights here. But yeah, man, this was a card I was looking forward to. Invicta FC 49, Delboni versus Decorsi. Jillian Decorsi, I mean, she she wanted this. She called for the title shot. She was keen on getting it. She wanted it and she got it. So first of all, I gotta say, shout out to Jillian Decorsi. I mean, she's just on a hot streak right now. The way she earned the shot and the way she won it. I mean, that's what you got to do. That is what you got to do to get it right. Think what's going on. But yeah, man. Overall, the card I thought it was pretty decent. Some of the bigger names on the card they didn't really have this time. Christina Williams had to pull out of a fight, so you had a late replacement co-main event, and that fight turned out to be good though. Like I said before, Invictus, you're gonna have a lot of up and comers that they're still trying to make a name. But they had some actually, yeah, they had some no names because you got a lot of tough house girls up here, right? We did have a couple of tough house, three tough house veterans in here, from the past show, just the past show. But yeah, man, let me just go through these fights real quick because I was just taking a look at it this afternoon. I said, I'm gonna talk about it because I was um I was out of it, last week, man. But yeah, let me jump back in here and we can talk. This first fight on the card definitely got a couple of strawweights, to look out for. Shawna Bannon from Ireland and Nadia Vera. Good scrappy fight. That was a good scrappy fight between these two. They were really throwing some hammers in there, and this girl Shawna, you know, you might underestimate her thinking she's just one of those girls that likes to think of her looks and everything, but this girl from Ireland, she goes out there and bangs, man. She was throwing bombs in this fight. Um, Vera was she was trying to return the same fire, but she just couldn't hang with the power. I think of this girl Shauna here, and Shauna, man, like actually showed some nice grappling skills too when it came down to it on the ground. I mean, she was just had some nice transition, nice movement on the ground, good control. But every time she get back to the feet, she could just really control it. So she was able to win a unanimous decision over Vera. Good banging fight, good scrappy fight. Still a lot to learn from these two. Still too early to say how deep they'll be, moving forward. But that was a good fight. That was a good open. Second fight on the card. Oh boy, this one here, man. Brittany Cloudy versus Monterey Rendon. This bantamweight fight here. I just gotta say, look, I'm not one to say robbery, but I thought this fight was a robbery. I thought this fight clear clearly had a winner, a clear winner in Brittany. But it's like they say, you got to go in there and get it done sometimes. You can't leave it in the hands of the judges. You know what I mean? Marcus, salute was up. Hang on, let me pull up this page here because there was a couple of doggone. Hang on, let me pull up this page. I want to pull up this girl's record too and just talk about it. Hold on one sec. All right, so this girl's 4-0, and right away I was kind of thinking to myself that Brittany's got to go in there and get a finish. She's got to go in there and get a finish because they might be trying to push another young bantamweight or another undefeated fighter in this organization. On top of that, Brittany she hadn't scored a win yet in Invicta FC. So had a lot riding against it here. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to these situations, they're gonna try their best to push the fighter that is undefeated and that they just have their eye on at the time. You know, I thought Brittany was busier. I thought she was always putting hands on Rendon. You know, Rendon was supposed to be the grappler in here. You know, word is, Rendon was the one that was supposed to be going to the ground, and she never did. She kept it a stand-up fight. You know, it was a clearly Brittany Cloudy fight. I'll say this though, out of all three rounds, you know, it was mostly hands and just just straight up boxing, just a lot of striking. Neither fighter, I am gonna admit this, look, neither fighter threw very, if at all, any leg kicks in this fight. Because I was just looking at this right now and just got done looking again, and I was like, you know what? Somebody needs to be throwing leg kicks. And for me, Brittany had better movement and is a better striker. She should have been throwing more leg kicks to me. You know, throwing a lot more calf kicks, just kind of chopping this girl Rendon down because Rendon was heavy on her legs. You know, she was heavy front footed and was just, you know, walking down, trying to walk Brittany down, and was very flat footed. You know, so that should be a good opener for a striker like Brittany to, just chew that lead leg up, and they never she never took full advantage of that opportunity. But other than that, I thought she was landing the better shots. You know, I thought she was outlanding her and just outworking her. Maybe two rounds of one at most. Uh, one round for Ridden, and that was all I could really give her though, man. But I could understand her. I could understand her frustration, man, the way she walked. She walked out because I clearly thought she was a winner. I mean, I don't know what else to say though. You know, the judges really goofed it up on that one. That was terrible. Just terrible on their part, man, because she did enough. She did way more than enough. And I mean, anybody can argue with me on that. I mean, I don't care because I'm like, yo, Cloudy constantly putting hands. I mean, I know I just put this picture up, but this is clearly how these right hands were consistently touching Rendon's mouth. I mean, Rendon was already like red by, close to the end of the first round, you know. So, shout out to Cloudy. I mean, hopefully she can come back and get it done next time. You know, maybe it's one of those situations like I said with Angela Hill. You know, you got to be a finisher. Brittany, I don't see any reason how she couldn't be. You know, she's got heavy hands. She's athletic. You know, she could set up good head kicks. You know, she's got good timing in there. So, I think pushing forward, she's gonna have to start sitting down on more shots and more leg kicks in there. Really, really not giving her opponents any room to breathe moving forward. I mean, that's the only thing I can say as far as advice. I mean, it's just to start taking these girls' heads off because these judges are always gonna be against you. You know, that sucks though. But hopefully she can bounce back. And, it really sucks though, man, because uh, she was. I thought she gained her first victory in Invicta, and once again, they took it from her this time. Terrible, man, terrible. Sometimes I'll be listening to commentating too. You know, Megan and them, they're all right sometimes, but seem like they don't be calling certain shots either. Like sometimes they be skipping over some shots. Like I'll give y'all an example in the next fight. Not the next one, but hold on. Let's jump to this next fight. Where is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Hang on. 1 second. Pauline and Mateo and Helen Peralta. Oh boy. Okay, so Helen Peralta's moving up to 125. She feels like this is where she needs to be. This is the fight. This is the weight she wants to fight at. But man, when I was looking at the size difference here, Pauline and Mateo got mad size difference over Peralta. Like just matching her up against this size of a flyweight, and Pauline and Mateo ain't even like the biggest flyweight, right? you can see like the size difference between these two here. And Peralta really thinks she's a flyweight now. She says she's having a hard time making 115. I I still think she's a very small 115 because moving forward, she's gonna have to have a lot more in her game to than to just try this clinch fighting here. I thought we were gonna see a good stand up fight. You know don't look. Hang on one second. Let me know if y'all can hear me better there. I was just fixing this sound here. Yeah, I thought we were gonna get a banging stand up fight. All right. I thought we were gonna get a banging stand up fight between these two. I thought between Mateo, her explosive kicks and the power in Peralta's hands, we would have seen a little bit of them standing in the center of the octagon and, a little bit more, willingness to throw and bang like that. Okay. Oh, you said now you can't? Okay. Yeah, I was checking my sound a little off. And kind of acting up. I got it now. Wait a minute. All right. Yeah, make sure y'all hit that like button while we doing this little recap. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Peralta versus Mateo. Yeah, I was expecting a banger. I was expecting somebody to get dropped in this fight. Maybe if not knocked out, dropped and then choked out. But this is usually the game that Peralta's been choosing, man. Like she's really been doing this a lot in her last few fights, where she would just, go in for this like this cage wrestling. I won't even really call it like cage wrestling, but like this clinch fighting style where she's just like pressing her opponent against the cage. But she was trying that with Mateo here, but Mateo to me was being much more active with her back to the cage, landing the little knees to the body and getting the underhook and reversing Peralta to the cage because she was the bigger, stronger fighter. So for me, Peralta, her game plan here should have been to, just get her to the cage and then work instead of just doing a lot of this pressing. Doing a lot of this pressing that wasn't earning her the round because Mateo was looking massive in there compared to her. She was controlling her with her back to the cage, and just landing those little knees to the body. And Peralta was not having much success. And that's how it played out for 3 rounds, right? For 3 rounds, she would just do this press. So Mateo, you see in this picture here, was just controlling. Um, Peralta, honestly, I think maybe if she's getting her discipline 100% right, I think she could still be a strawweight, honestly. Or it's either that, or she's gonna have to change up her game plan and take a different approach because you can't press these bigger flyweights to the cage all day and just think you can keep the fight there. That's not gonna work. That ain't gonna work. It's got to be a mix-up game in there. If you got power in both hands, you got to be confident like Andrade. I mean, she ain't nowhere near built like Andrade, but I mean, if she believes in it, she's got to be more of a stalker and fight off her jab and use those overhand rights when you close distance on a taller fighter, right? But shout out to Mateo. I did lean towards Mateo in this fight, honestly. Just because I said this one here, I think Mateo, she's got the size and she should have the ability to control Peralta. Uh, I think Peralta's whole thing is just knowing what game plan to use in these fights, man. She just don't. She believes too much in that rugged style where she just likes to push and press and push these girls to the cage like that. That's just kind of her. That's been her mo lately. But she's gonna have to switch that game up, man, for real. I mean, I like Peralta. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, she was. Yeah, I was actually talking to her behind the scenes about that. Her coming back to BKFC because she was like, "Yo, well, she told me to share it around, to get a rematch with Christine Fierro, and I did, because she was like, hit up my promoter and let him know, hey, y'all want to see this fight, and I was like, all right, I'll do that. So yeah, Peralta, she brings some action, but hey, you got to put it together, man. You got to put it together in there. All right, so this other fight, another tough house fight. Let's see, who do we have? We got Tough Vets, Hannah Guy, and Caitlin Neal. All right. So Caitlin Neal also gets a decision. Also gets her unanimous decision over Hannah Guy in a fight where I thought eventually Caitlin was going to get her out of there with those constant body shots in this fight, but she was able to survive. Hannah Guy was able to survive in there. Caitlin Neal, I had to pick Caitlin Neal in this fight because I said, Caitlin, looking back at her last few fights, her striking it isn't the best, but it's better than Hannah Guy. Hannah Guy still has to work on her defense, still wide open to these shots, still just scrappy, likes to storm in and just take 2-3 shots to miss 2 or 3 of her own. And that's kind of how this fight played out. You had Caitlin Neal just push kicking her here to the body, landing the jab in her face, the 1-2, just cracking her with punches, and Hannah Guy just eating these big shots. Caitlin Neal's a bigger flyweight as well, bigger and stronger. But she just knew how to use it well, to use her range in this fight and controlled it. I mean, vicious body shots. I think it was like second round, had that girl almost folded over with the elbow blocking the stomach. You know what I mean? And then Caitlin Neal started hitting the body more. And I was like, yeah, get her out of there. Go on, get her out. Like what's going on here? Like, I can't stand like when a fighter hurts somebody like that and they just can't get him out. Like, that's the thing I can say about Caitlin. Like, Hannah Guy's tough, but she was there for the taking. Caitlin Neal was still sitting back a little too much for me. I think she could have got her out of there. I mean, when somebody's body is in that much pain, she should have been like swinging for that fences right there. Just really ripping into her and getting her out. Putting her down to the ground. But that's that was a vicious beating to the body I've ever seen one of these girls in Invicta take before, man. I mean, Hannah Guy, she's tough. I give her that, but she gonna have to work on that. She gonna have to work on that defense, man. She just takes way too many shots in there. So yeah, that was an easy decision win for Caitlin Neal. So let's see who we got so far. Let's see, going back through here. Yeah, Peralta. Yeah, Peralta got her. Yeah, she dropped the decision to Mateo. Okay, that's Caitlin Neal and Hannah Guy. Going into this third fight here, this was a good fight. This third fight was good because I seen Liz Tracy fight a number of times. She's a decent fighter. Awkward, tough. Valeska Machado. Yeah, Valeska Machado with Liz Tracy. This is a good fight. This girl was in the Contender Series, I think, last year. Dropped the close decision. I think it was the Pierre Rodriguez. I thought Valeska Machado did, some pretty good work in that fight. And, she's a pretty quick striker, pretty good stand-up fighter in there. And Liz Tracy, she's just so awkward. She just be moving and throwing these shots and switching angles. This was a strawweight fight, by the way, just so y'all know. Valeska Machado did what she was supposed to do in this fight. Every time Liz Tracy comes storming in, she used the timing, just banging the crap out of her with these right hands. I mean, she was just hitting her with some good, clean shots from rounds 1, 2, and 3 on. And Liz didn't really have any answer for this. She didn't have any answer for somebody that was going to come with some accurate strikes like this. Liz Tracy
you know, I've seen her before fight at like 125. You know, she's got a lot of energy, but she's the same deal. You know, needs to work on her defense. You know, needs to work on her feints, man. But let's give Machado though. You know, a couple more fights from her, she polish it up. You know, she might be getting a UFC contract. You know, I definitely wouldn't doubt that. I think she has some pretty solid stand up. You know, on that level with, well, her stand up is better than Luana Pinheiro in my opinion. You know, I think her stand up is much more impressive, and I think with the right training, Valeska Machado, you can see her do a little bit more even than Luana Pinheiro, in my opinion. You know, I just think she's much more committed to her stand up as an MMA fighter than Pinheiro is. And I just picked those names because they both were from the Contender Series. You know, I like I I actually thought Machado had won that fight with Pierre Rodriguez for the Contender Series show. I believe that was the one she fought. Yeah, I thought she won that fight, which means, hold on. Yeah, which means if they give her a few more fights here, she might be going right back to the Contender Series, or she might get signed. You know, they might sign her. Who knows? Which you know, I also going to say with the way Pierre Rodriguez been looking, I think Sam Hughes going to beat her in this coming weekend because yeah, they fight next, not this Saturday coming, but in 2 weeks. Yeah. But yeah, I like Valeska Machado's style. Yeah, she's a beast. Yeah, she's definitely a beast in there. I like her style. You know, again, you know me, a stand up fighting fan, but you know, I just think she has a really good. I think she has a really good right hand, and she knows how to use that speed. All right, let's see who else we got. Ketlin Souza versus Mayo Sutama. Christina Williams was supposed to be in this fight, but she had to pull out due to illness. So as you can see here, this what's her name again? Sutama. Yeah, Sutama had to step in against Souza. Souza had this like capoeira style in there. You know, she was just in there like picking this girl Suama apart. You know, with these right hands and stepping in and out and just using these crazy feints in this fight. This was a pretty good co-main event. You know, this girl here just putting these shots together, and who knows, that could have been Christina Williams there because this girl has an awkward style. You know, she's just got this, like I said, this capoeira style where she just, you know, in and out and zigzagging, and then boom, she catches you with these right hands. This girl's got some skill to her, man. So hopefully we can see this fight one day with her and Christina Williams. How that would be. I still think Christina Williams is gonna get that flyweight belt one day because she has gotten better as a fighter. Uh, yeah, that's all 6 fights. So first 6 fights were all decisions, which it wasn't. It, you know, that didn't really make everything lackluster. You know what I mean? But I wanted to see some more brawling in there. I wanted to see some. I wanted to see some straight up, you know, blow for blow type fight. I want to see some bangers in there, you know. But for the most part, some of the fights, you know, they were exciting. But you know, we could do some with some finishes here and there. But the main event turned out to be a finish. Got Jillian Decorsi in here choking out Jessica Delboni in the first round. I mean, who saw that coming? Who saw that coming in this fight, man? I was like, wow, Jillian Decorsi is on a course right now. Jillian Decorsi is in a lane of her own right now. This girl is moving. I mean, that's why I gotta respect her, man. You know, Jillian Decorsi, she's a hard worker, and you know she's in that age range. She's 38 years old. You know, I gotta give this girl a lot of respect and still want to work hard. You know, she's up in that age group where I got to represent, for her. Definitely got to root for her. I like this girl, man. Jillian Decorsi, to get the title shot was insane. How she got the title shot was insane. I mean, wow. Uh, how she got the title shot. Hey, hang on one second, y'all.
Okay, y'all, I'm back. Just having to take care of something. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, man, shout out to this girl right here, man. She has got some skills, man, and she's getting better and better as a fighter. Jillian DeCourcy. Um, I didn't see anybody getting finished in this fashion in this fight. I ain't even gonna lie. You know, I could have seen DeCourcy winning the decision. I will say that.
Jillian DeCourcy winning the decision in this one. And I also could have seen Jessica Delboni winning the decision. Because Jessica Delboni, she's not really the type that she can go in there and somewhat dominate, but sometimes she doesn't turn it up enough either. You know what I mean? Like Delboni, she doesn't really turn it up. She's never really in there turning it up straight up anyways. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't go straight in there and go in kill mode either. She can control rounds, but sometimes she gives her opponents enough space to work. And that's why, she did have that close decision with Zapatella the first time around. But then she, won a clear decision the next time. But man, this girl right here, Jillian DeCourcy, she been putting it together. I mean, y'all know she been working with the reason she went in probably went into kill mode. She's been working with what's her name? Aaron Blanchfield and Fatima Klein. I've been talking about them fighters. That's who Jillian DeCourcy been training with in this fight. So when they said that, I was like, okay, I see it now. Jillian DeCourcy done, took some pages out of Aaron Blanchfield's book and Fatima Klein in there. When they hit the mats, yeah, you can see it translate through. So iron sharpens iron. Let me just say that, man. I mean, the first round, you could see Delboni wanting to control that fight with her leg kicks. Always on point with her leg kicks. Landing some good shots here and there, controlling distance. But she made a mistake when she saw that moment where DeCourcy went into the cage, kind of took a step back. She took that as like an opening to try to clinch up, and Delboni just switched game here. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, why not go back to the striking? So she wants to go in and clinch. And DeCourcy didn't look phased. She really didn't look phased. She was able to go in and get the underhooks and just try her best to, outstrength Delboni herself. And then Delboni tries to get that takedown. And it was a nice roll reversal for Jillian DeCourcy to get top position. And almost got full mount. Delboni almost panicked, though. Well, she did, because she gave up her back. She gave up her back in this position, and it was an awkward position for her against the cage. And when her back was, when she gave her back up, that's where you see Dylan DeCourcy just settle in. And that's, like I said, you can see that grappling, man, that that grappling's rubbing off from Blanchfield, and she sank it in. She sank that forearm in and got that rear naked choke. Man, I was shocked a little bit there because Delboni, she's supposed to be good on the ground with it, but the way she kind of panicked in this fight, I was like, oh man, wow, did not see that coming. So that's 2 first-round finishes for Decorsi. What's going on left left here? That's 2 first-round finishes for Decorsi now. That's the knockout over Lindsey Van Zandt, which I'm still crushed about that because Lindsey, always been cool with Lindsey, man. But that's a solid W for Jillian Decorsi. Definitely can't knock that. Then now she got the first round finish to take the belt. So I'm wondering right now, what's the question? What's the word? Are we going to see an atomweight division be made? Are we going to see an atomweight division be made with them continuing to build these type of fighters up, and they make good fights like this? Will we ever see Jillian Decorsi or Delboni in the UFC? I don't know. But yeah, overall, okay card. Main event was definitely the one that was worth the wait. It was definitely, to me, the best fight on the card. As a whole, I think Invicta FC 48 was a little better to me. I think it was a little bit better. If I'm thinking right, or am I thinking of 47? No, I'm thinking 48. 48, yeah. Yeah, 48, I think, as a whole, was a better card. Yeah, I think so. But this main event was on point, though. But we'll see. Delboni asked for a rematch right then and there in the cage. She was like, can I get a rematch? I was like, dang, this girl right here, she, Delboni, boy, she never quit, boy. I mean, I could understand why she asked right away, because that's just in her. Well, the Zapatella fight, I could understand why she asked for a rematch right away, of course, because that was, kind of like, some people thought, yeah, she won that fight. But, Jillian Decorsi did what she had to do in this one. She clearly choked this girl out. She's like, yo, I gotta get the rematch right then and there, man. I just kind of thought that was funny. But props to her, she ain't afraid to ask for a rematch. But from here, the ball's in Jillian Decorsi's court. She earned it, and that's what it is. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and talk about that card a little bit because I had to go back and look at it again and just kind of play it out and see if I was really correct about some of these fights again. Even like with the Brittany fight, I wanted to look again, and yeah, my mind then changed on that. I thought she clearly won that fight, y'all. But yeah, y'all hit that like button. I'm about to roll out here. Just wanted to give my take on this Invicta FC card. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch y'all on the next stream. Peace.